Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and in this video we're looking at the Islander ISL-85 in the Traska Summiteer. This Summiteer is with the charcoal black dial, and the ISL-85 is with the Robin's Egg blue dial. Actually, I think that model number is just for this dial color, but you get the point. We're looking at a blue dial versus black dial. Ideally, I'd be looking at a black dial for both, but this is the one that I own. I own both of these watches. Purchased them both myself. The Summiteer is $550, and the ISL-85 is $349, so $200 premium for the Summiteer. Is it worth it? I don't know. It's up to you. I think it is, but I really like the styling of this watch, but I like this watch as well, so be an interesting comparison. Not sure if you call this a field watch or a sport watch, but very similar kind of styling on both of these. So let's talk about the Islander first. We have a mixture of brushed and polished surfaces. This case is basically a clone of the Seiko Sarb 033 case. I have an O-style bracelet, 3-link bracelet, and that bracelet and end link is milled, is solid metal, not hollow. It's a quick look at the case back. It does have a display case back to look at the Miyota 9015 movement. One of my favorite movements. You get the high beat, hand winding, hacking. Not much more you could ask for in a movement. So the bracelet top is brushed, the sides are polished. It does have the milled clasp there, and then these two portions are stamped. You have 3 micro adjusts, and it's a nice small size clasp. The bracelet does have some nice taper from 20 down to 16, so this watch wears very comfortably on wrist. Screw down crown, 100 meter water resistance, and it is a signed crown. So the rest of the dimensions, I measured the male end link to male end link at 48 millimeter, and then the lugs 44.5, watch case diameter 38, thickness nice and thin at 10.5, and again the bracelet 20 millimeter here, tapering down to 16, and the crown is a 6.5 millimeter crown, and the weight on this watch, size for my wrist, is 117 grams. Now the Summiteer is almost the same weight at 119 grams. 6.3 millimeter signed crown. Same dimension here, 20 millimeter lug width, and it does taper down to 16. It does have a female end link, and each piece of this bracelet is fully articulating, unlike the Islander where it's just these 3 pieces are attached to each other, so the center piece does not articulate independently of the outer links. So it's 3 pieces are attached together there, versus this one here where that center link kind of floats. So wears very well on wrist. Solid end link, solid links. Both of these are held in by screw pins. This one does away with the safety clasp. I like the look of this clasp better. This outer portion is stamped, mixture of brushed and polished surfaces. So just these dual pushers here. And then this portion here is milled. Some nice perlage work going on there. Really looks really good. It looks really good, and it doesn't really need to be done, but it's a nice added touch. Unfortunately, it has a solid case back. The Generation 1 had a display case back. I know some folks don't care one way or the other if it has a display case back, but I do like to see the movement. This movement tends to be a little noisy, so perhaps they went to a solid case back to cut down on the noise. I'm not really sure. It's not decorated either. Just has some little bit of text engraved on the back. So the rest of the dimensions, it's 11.4 thick, and that's due to this. It's thicker than the Islander because of this box dome sapphire crystal with AR coating underneath. Generation 1 had a flat sapphire crystal, and it was about the same thickness as this guy here. So when on wrist, you don't really notice the thickness as much because it's on the crystal. 39 millimeter case, and then lug to lug is 46.4. Here these two are side by side. The Summiteer is a little bit larger of a watch. Still wears well for my 6.5-inch wrist though. And well, actually lug to lug is technically smaller on Bracelet due to these male links being protruding center links, but it does taper down pretty quickly. Alright, let's look at the watch a little more closely here. So this is also a mixture of brushed and polished surfaces. It has a nice polish on the edge there. I really like this look with the polished side, the polished chamfered edge, and then the polished top. Quite a few different watches have a similar look. Bracelet is brushed on the sides and the top. So you may notice a difference to the color of this watch. Let's see if you can see it from the top. They are both 316L stainless steel, but this has a little bit different sheen or color to it. I guess sheen is the brightness. So yeah, the sheen and the color are both different. And the reason for that is this has a hardness coating. So the hardness of this material with the coating is 1,200 on the Vickers scale. And stainless steel, 316L stainless steel, is right around 200 on the Vickers scale. So this watch is 6 times harder with that material coating on here. So for the $200 additional, you're getting the box sapphire crystal. The movement's the same between these two, but then you are getting that hardness treatment, not treating. Anyway, yeah, let me get both of these on wrist, and then we'll check out the Loom towards the end of the video. Let me know in the comment section which of these you would take for the money, or perhaps you could have them both in your collection. Can't ever have too many watches, but also at the same time I can't keep them all, so got to be a balance in there somewhere. Again, I have a 6.5-inch wrist, and this is 48 and 44.5. So I think it looks perfectly fine on my wrist. The clasp is not signed on this. Alright, let's zoom out here. Push the Petoskey stones out of the way and zoom out here. Here we go. Yeah, it's a good looking watch. I'm happy that I was able to purchase this. I know when I first bought it, they sold out, I think, within a couple hours. As soon as I got the email, like, click the buy it now button. And this does, as I mentioned, has the safety clasp and the dual pushers. And the Traska just has the dual pushers without the safety clasp. I really prefer the look of this clasp over the Islander. Looks a little more finished to me. Yeah, I really like this watch. You know, I'll zoom in on the dial to both of these right after we look at this on wrist here. So what was this, 46.4, I think. Yep, 46.4 on the lug to lug, and again it has a female center link, so it doesn't protrude any further out on the bracelet. And this does have a signed clasp. Can't quite bend my wrist. There we go. Alright, let's take a closer look at the dials on both of these. So this has printed indices and a printed logo. Everything on here is printed, but you do have the dished out center portion. So that's a little more visual interest. Hopefully you can see that. And nice polished stainless steel hands there. And the ISL-85 does have applied indices. And I don't know if the logo in the automatic is applied or if it's stamped from the backside and then it's color filled for the dial color. Not exactly sure how they manufacture that, but I am a big fan of applied indices, which we do have here. Alright, we'll pause the video and come right back with the Loom. Speaking of the Loom, this one here, the website just says it has Swiss Super Luminova, and the Islander has BGW9. Alright, so ISL-85 is on the left and Traska Summiteer is on the right. And I would say the Loom is brighter on the Islander, which is again on the left. Looking at it by eye. On camera, it's not. It looks brighter on camera than what it does by eye for both of these watches, actually. But I think the Loom is perfectly adequate on both of these watches. I'm happy with it, especially for the price point. So again, let me know which of these two watches you'd pick in the comment section. And that will conclude today's video. As always, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.